Everybody, it's Alex Bigley. Welcome back. I have some updates, not necessarily for my channel, but just me personally. I hope you enjoy the news. Let me see. Last Friday, I don't know for those who were paying attention, I made a Dead Han Solo pop vinyl figure. And I threw it up on eBay, and that ended on Friday. Saturday before that was Free Comic Book Day, which is the last video I made. And within that video, I mentioned that I took that with me. And I showed it to the gentleman behind the counter who actually owned the place. His name's John, very nice guy. And he seemed very interested in wanting one. I asked him and said, would you guys be interested in this? He says, yeah, sure. He goes, how much do you want for it? And we discussed the price. It's like, okay, well, I bought one of theirs, took it home, did my work on it, came back today because he was going to be in today. In the meantime, last Friday, the one I put on eBay sold. 5 bids, I think, between 3 different people. Sold for a grand total, including shipping, $47. Started at 20, which I thought was meager enough, and at the same time, kind of possibly a little too much. But I'm still floored by that one. So I'm going today, and I did. When I spoke to John last week, we discussed 20, which is what I believe is a fair price. So when I went in today, he says, "Well, what did you want to do?" He goes, "What did we discuss last time?" He's got a lot of stuff he's taking care of. He doesn't remember. I said, well, we did discuss 20. I said, it's entirely up to you. I know another gentleman here mentioned something about possibly doing a trade. He goes, would you want to do maybe 25 store credit? And I'm like, yeah, because they do have some pops that I wanted, which I did get, and I'll show you those in a second. So I basically did that. I ended up getting 3 pops, not a direct trade, more so like 2 for 1. And I gave him that when they gave me 2. And I ended up paying a little bit for the third one. So, first one I got, just for the sake of information, Leatherface. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which has the original poster on the back here. Awesome job there. I like this movie, very, very good. And then the other 2 I got, just picking them out as they are. Of course, I had to get this because I got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I got Alec Guinness Obi-Wan Kenobi. For some reason, they will not make this in action figure form. Granted, the way they're making their action figures now, Hasbro, I don't know if I want one, but because they went backwards in time. The one I still have from '95 is probably better articulated and it looks better than whatever. But anyway, so Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then this one, I do have to do a little bit of work just to straighten out the sword on this one, but I got the Black Knight from Holy Grail. I don't know how well you can see his sword's like really bent there. They did have Tim the Enchanter, which I wanted mainly just because of the rabbit, but and that was it. So yeah, I got this one. I might black out the eyes to make it a little bit more like the actual figure. I'm not entirely, or the picture, at least on the box there, but I might leave it as is. I'm not entirely sure what I'll do with that, but so there was that. Now I am, because I'm so grateful to these guys, John and his crew over at the Docking Bay 94 Games and Comics, I want to tell you a little bit about them. Their comic book shop, which is in my area, very, very, very hard to find. The fact I even know about them on the hall is amazing. I used to see their sign from the road going down every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, let me check them out one day. So I went in there, and they have a good, great selection of newer comics. They do have a small selection of older comics as well. Granted, they can't have everything, but such is the nature of the business. They have a lot of graphic novels. They have a lot of statues and collectibles and things like that. They pop vinyls, Marvel Select, DC Direct figures. I think that's what they call them. Every week, different days throughout the week, they have card game, groups. They have, I want to say maybe like D&D sessions or something. I'm not entirely sure. But I know they definitely do like I think today's Pokemon. I think And they also have people doing Magic the Gathering, so if you're into those, other trading card games and whatnot, I think they still do Yu-Gi-Oh!, a bunch of other ones. So it definitely seems to be a great place to hang out. Fortunately, I have not had the opportunity or the time to go there. I've wanted to kind of look into Magic. I'm slightly interested in it. I know it can be an expensive hobby, as can be collecting things, but, you know, one man's meat, another man's poison, that kind of deal. So I might go by there maybe next week, spend some time before I have to go to work, see if I can learn a little bit, and, you know, but they do have things at night also. They have, like, you know, movie clubs, or I think different things like that. So be interesting. You know, if I can get in there, if I had a little more free time, I can get in there and I can do those things. But as it stands right now, they are indeed, you know, probably, you know, one of the best comic book shops I've dealt with in a while. Thankfully, yeah, I did. One of the reasons, some of you may be, oh, why didn't you just take the cash for the trade, you know, for the figure? I wanted to go ahead and use that store credit. I've gotten burnt by comic book shops before. I don't think this one's going anywhere, honestly, because it has a community. But I got burnt by a comic book shop one time before where they owed me store credit, and they ended up leaving. They up and gone and never seen them again. So, with that said, Docking Bay 94. I'll leave a link to their website in the bottom of this video in the description. If you're on Manic, you'll see it below there too. If you happen to be in the South Florida area around Boca Raton, Deerfield Beach, even Pompano Beach areas, and you're looking for a comic book, I know there's a couple other comic book shops around. One south a bit more. So see what you know. But honestly, I mean, this is my local, man. This is my local. You gotta support your local, man. Support your local comic book shop. Okay, this doesn't take me too long to get there. It's a, you know, I enjoy talking to these guys. I have nerd conversations. I can't have nerd conversations in normal life. Thankfully, some of the people at work, you know, I can have nerd conversations too, which I'm lucky with that. But I can go in here and just, I mean, they make me feel. This is not derogatory, but they make me feel like less of a nerd because they know more than I do about things. That's a compliment to them because they know a whole heck of a lot more about stuff that goes on the comics, the movies, and everything else like that I miss completely. So, yeah, it's always, I always enjoy myself when I go in there. Granted, I anytime I go into any place, I kind of keep to myself. That's just me. That's how I am. But, you know, and maybe I'll talk to the guy behind the counter, or maybe I'll talk to somebody who works there. Just, you know, strike up a conversation, ask them about a couple things that I'm looking for. Granted, I usually don't go into comic book shops looking for comics. I did go in there, you know, Free Comic Book Day, because, you know, who knows? Maybe I could find something that I'll actually be interested in and want to start getting. I do want to find the trade paperbacks of the Ghostbusters IDW series, because those were really good. I digress. So that was my fun, interesting week that I had. All because of a visual joke that I wanted to make. But people are very, very taken by it. I'll throw a picture up. Be a link in the description to a picture that I have on the internet. And on Manic, I'll just put it there, so that way you can see what I'm talking about as far as the figure's concerned. Or maybe I'll link to the other video I did where I went into a little more description about it. Excuse me. I just got finished eating a Panda Express. My throat's a little dried up. Not that it matters with the food. It's just good food, in my opinion. So that's it. Anyway, I'm rambling here. It's almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to shut my mouth. Hit stop on this. I can upload it to YouTube, and I will see you next time in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.